versus Yetka for a 2500 points battle report, standard rules, no legion, between Lizardmen and Empire. My opponent has a level 4 of life and a level 4 of light. His level 4 of life has Flesh to Storm, Dwellers Below, Awakening of Woods, and Earthblood. His level 4 of light has Byron as Time Warp, Spill of Light, Shem's Burning Gaze, and the Net of Amiok. In my army I have Teto Echo, who is Lordmaster of Heaven, and my level 1 of Beast as Wizened Wildform. We go straight to deployment, and on the Empire side, from left to right, he's got 5 knights, he's got a captain on a peg, he's got some 10 crossbow band behind the building over there, he's got 7 demigriffs. Next to the demigriffs is his Steam Tank, he's got 40 halberdiers, or 38, and in that block are his 2 wizards as well as his priest. He's got a Hurricane behind that, and then he's got 10 archers, skirmishers, 2 cannons, 1 on the hill and 1 behind the demigriff, and then on the right there cropped is his last unit of knights. My deployment, I have vanguarded with Teto Echo 3 units, skim skirmishers in the forest on the left there, the salamander unit with the extra handler in the middle, and the second unit of skirmishers in front of the building. I have my scouts who could not go anywhere, so they're gonna either chaff up his knight on the right or take care of the cannon if they can. In my deployment zone I have a scarvet with grey weapon on his own. I have then 18 source warriors with a scarvet in there. I have 19 skinks with poison attacks with a level 1 of beast. I got my skink chief on a stegadon with blowpipes. I have another ancient stegadon next to the skink chiefs. I have 18 skinks in a cohort unit with poison attack and a banner with Teto Echo in there. I have a skink chief on a pterodon behind the building and an oldblood on a carnosaur, because why not, and I want to try it one more time. Top of turn 1 and I win the roll. I move my scouts and my skirmishers forward to try to chaff up the knight and put some pressure on the cannon. I move my carnosaur and my general closer, hiding from the cannon on the left and providing only the smallest footprint for the cannon in front of him. That could be an issue. I'm not putting any threat for next turn because of the way it is angled, but c'est la vie. My salamander is moving up and angling itself so it can shoot at the halberdiers and maybe overshoot into the Hurricane. For the rest of my units, I do not move Teto Echo's unit. I put my chief behind the impassable terrain so he cannot be shot, and his mission is going to take care of the other cannon. I move the ancient stegadons forward, angling the second one in case he decides to charge with demigriff. I move the skinks back, offer a long charge to the demigriff. Hopefully they will get into the forest and lose their steadfast. And then I shift my unit of skinks, the core there with level 1 of beast, closer to that gap between the forest and the impassable terrain. And also I shift my source warriors. My lone scarvet is gonna go and try to either hunt the 5 knights or the peg captain, whichever is available. And if he does so, then he'll provide some cover and maybe some support for the cannon hunting afterwards. My magic phase, Teto Echo tries to cast the Comet of Cassandra. It is his spell, and I try to cast Uran Thunderbolt, the big one, onto the cannon on the right, and it is his spell as well. In magic phase, I try to cast the Comet and use some of his dice, get his spell, which is a good thing, and then I try to cast Uran Thunderbolt, the big version, on the cannon on the right, but get his spell as well. I didn't roll high enough. In the shooting phase, the salamander aims. He needs anything but a 2, and I roll a 2. On the right flank, both units of scouts, chameleon, and skirmishers shoot at the cannon and do nothing. 20 shots, not a single 6. Nothing else is in range, and we go into bottom of turn 1. His knights charge the chameleon skinks. I decide to flee. I roll a 1 and a 2. and he catches me up. His unit of archer skirmishers charges my unit of skirmishers, and I hold and take it on the flank. I have shields, so I have better armor, crappy toughness, but I should be able to stand that. And then on the left flank, sorry for the blurry picture, his captain on the Pegasus tries to charge my Scarvet. I really wanted him to. I probably would smash into a pulp, but he fails by a couple of inches. The random moves, his steam tank moves 2 inches forward, like so, and then his unit of demigriff move forward as well. In the magic phase, he casts Shane's Burning Gaze on the salamander and causes a wound. 3 wounds, 2 of which are on handlers. He then casts the Speed of Light on his archers. And as a prelude to a long and painful shooting or series of shooting phases from my opponent, he opens his cannon onto the first ancient Stegadon, shoots and rolls a 6 to wound. So bye bye 1 Stegadon. However, with sight of relief, the second cannon shoots, misfires, and he rolls a 1. He was going to take off my second Stegadon with the BSB skink chief there. Thank God. I'll take that, but you're gonna see that's not gonna be enough. The combat between the skirmishers, he causes 2 wounds, I cause a wound back, but he's got a charge, and the flank, he wins. I do not pass my break test, I flee, but he does not catch me up, and we end up like so. Top of turn 2, my lone Scarvet charges his peg captain, and makes it. Unfortunately, the rest of the turn is not really interesting. My carnosaur moves on the right of the knights to do a counter charge, whatever they do, or possibly charge into the archers if it's still around. The steg doesn't really move, it just angles to the left to prepare for counter charging the demigriffs, and then my Soulless Warriors move forward closer to the forest, just in case. Magic phase is a wash, I do not get anything, and we go straight into shooting. My salamander angles itself to do a very nice shooting on the archers. It should just toss them all, but I roll misfire, and I hit 1 more handler. And so into combat, he causes me a wound, which I save. I cause no wound. Did I cause? No, I caused 2 wounds, he saves them, and then he loses by 1 with a charge. He fails his break check and runs away, but not far enough, and I pursue and I fail to catch him. Bottom of turn 2, steam tank generates 4 steam points. He's on the right flank, his knights charge my salamander, who decides to flee. He's got not much ready for fighting there. He flees with a 1, a 2, and a 3, I think, so 4 inches, and he catches me. And then on the left flank, his unit of knights, the normal knights, not the demigriff, charged the flank of my skirmishers. It was a long charge, and I decided to stand. He does not make it, and then his demigriff decides to charge the skirmishers, in which case I decide to flee, and I flee this way, does not catch me, and end up just next to the impassable terrain over there. His captain, of course, rallies. His steam tank goes forward, his unit of halberdiers goes forward with his wizards, followed closely by his hurricane. In his magic phase, he casts Flesh to Stone on the demigriff, but that's okay, I'm not planning to go into combat with them just yet, or next turn for that matter. I successfully stop him buffing his unit of archers, and I end up winning the combat. I kill 4 of his, he killed 2 of mine. He is within his general's leadership and a BSB, and is able to stick around. Top of turn 3, and I decide to charge with the unit of knights with the skinks, because they're gonna charge me and I need to protect the rear of my Stegadon. I roll a 6, I needed a 7. And then I tried to charge with my oldblood, on the carnosaur, and I needed 9, and I rolled a 8. with 3 dice, with 3 stride. In hindsight, I should probably have charged the carnosaur first to cause a terror check, and then have an easier charge with my my skinks. Although no, I did do that, but he decided to stand, so it didn't matter. But yeah, I should have made this charge, but I didn't. So there we stand. That's not gonna be good. I move the block of Saurus warriors with the Scarlet into the forest. Probably not a good idea. I'm gonna lose my steadfast. I was thinking I want him to be in there rather than into Stegadon. And then with the forest, I may get a few wounds through. So hindsight, probably not the best, but it kind of work. You're gonna see. So Tetoko's unit failed its charge. So I'm thinking, all right, nothing is touching these knights. There's a steam tank. There's the halberdiers, the hurricanum. Chain lightning is a spell to go for. I use my 4 dice. It's got 2 to dispel, so I got a good chance to get it. And I roll 2 1s, a 2, and a 3. And of course, Tetoeko, I rolled a 1, so I could not reroll these 2 1s. Yeah, happens sometime. It's a shame. Oh, I forgot to mention, my lone Scarvet, of course, did the unmissable charge into the captain on the peg, killed him, and then turned around to face the cannon. The cannon that was shot at by the skink chief on a pterodon was about 6 inches, less than 6 inches away, but did not roll anything, or did not roll high enough to wound, even with poison attacks. And so, bottom of 3, the knights decide to charge Teto's Echo's skink unit. They stand and shoot, and they kill 2. Of course, they make it. On the other side, the Demigryph successfully charge the Saurus block. And here's a better picture of the 3 knights charging Teto's Echo's unit. I forgot to mention, last turn in combat, my skink skirmishers killed these remaining archers. They broke, they fled, and we caught them into the forest where my skink skirmishers stand. In his turn, then he moves his steam tank forward towards my carnosaur, turns his halberdiers just for good measure and support, and magic him down. And then on the left side, he gets his unit of knights closer to the action, whilst the halberdiers remain inside and try to shoot, or aiming for the Steganon, I believe. In his magic phase, he casts Biona's Time Warp on his Demigryph, and I dispel it. He then casts Awakening of the Woods on the skirmishers, and they get 2d6s worth of attacks, 10 wounds, and they are food for the plants now. And then we go in the most frustrating shooting phase I've ever gone through. His steam tanks get only 2 steam points, so he misfires, still gets 2 steam points, moves, aims, shots. Of course, cannons, they don't need to roll to hit. It's an auto hit. He hits, right? Now the chances of missing on a cannon is what? 13%, 11%, 1 chance in 6, something like that. So he hits randomized, he hits on the console. He's got 5 wounds. He rolls a 6 to wound. I've got an ironcurse icon. I do not roll a 6. 1 chance in 6. So my carnosaur is dead. And then we go on the Lord, my oldblood. So he rolls, he hits. Okay. I pass my wall save. Or I roll my wall save. I fail. I got a 4 up. I fail it. He rolls to wound. I have 3 wounds, and he rolls a 6 again. Okay. So kind of pretty pissed off on this one. And then on the other side, the cannon turns around. He 10 from the back. Really annoys me. 10 from the back. Does not scatter. Does not misfire. Hits and then rolls to wound, and he rolls another 6. I have a 4 wall save on this one, and I roll a 2. So that's 600 points worth of models lost by, I think, the most annoying shooting unit. Cannons should have something to roll to hit, or have clear line of sight or something like that, because shooting through other units is just annoying. And that's what the other, well, never mind. Never mind, here's my rant on cannons again, and it's the end of the rant. So moving on into combat, I didn't really expect any different. Being in the forest, that was a mistake. I'm not steadfast, so he wins combat by a couple. We run away, he does not catch me, and gets a few extra wounds on the unit due to dangerous terrain. Combat with Teto Echo is a wash. He passes all his armor saves. I just needs to roll 2s because of my feeble strength, and he kills a couple. So all that said and done, even with my ranks and my banners, we draw completely with musicians. Many apologies, I seem to have missed a few shots there. Something tells me it's due to the frustration of the previous shooting phase. But here what happens. My Stegonon charges the flank of the Demigryph. In the stand, my Saurus block rallies and turns around to face the Demigryph. My second unit of skink cohort moves to support the rear of my Stegonon as well as the flank of my Teto Echo unit. And then in magic phase, I try to cast Ice Shard Blizzard on Demigryph and fail, and then tries to cast Harmonic Convergence Bubble and get it dispelled. Well, both spells get dispelled. I didn't fail and then cast another spell. However, I did successfully cast Whistle Wall Form, which I put on Teto's Echo unit, thinking that skinks with strength 4 and toughness 3 would be largely enough to kill some knights, but let's have a look. Is that the case? There's no shooting, so straight into combat. The Stegonon and the Skink Chief do pretty well. We cause 4 wounds, I believe, in total. Impact hits, and then the Stegonon attacks. The Skink Chief himself didn't do much, and I'm not sure you would believe it, but the Skinks and the Knights end up with another draw. We lost a few Skinks, and the Knights just stick around with their amazing armor saves. And here for the bottom of 4, the Knights on the left flank charge the Skinks skirmishers who rally the previous turn, and for their trouble they lose 2 of their comrades from the stand and shooting. Stink Tank prepares himself, generates some steam, and charges Teto Echo's unit. And that's not going to be pretty, just for impact hits, and we do them now because I'm not sure if that's the case. This is what my opponent said you should do. So I lose 4 just on impact hits. In his magic phase, my opponent casts Flesh to Stone on Demigryph, which I dispel. However, he does then end up passing the Speed of Light and Byrona's Time Warp, so these Demigryph have 1 extra attack, weapon skill 10, initiative 10. Oh, and that's both apparently the mount and the rider. So in combat, the Knights on the left flank break the Skinks and overrun them off the table, so these guys are not on the hill, they're just roughly off the table around that part of the terrain, and we'll come back next turn. Here, I apologize, I only have 1 shot of this, but the Scarvet charge out of the block of Saurus warriors into the Demigryph, supporting the Stegodon. The Stegodon and the Skink Chief get into the fight with Demigryph. Demigryph killed the Skink Chief on top. Stegodon took a couple of wounds for his trouble, and the Scarvet took a wound, but in with the charge and the wound that Scarvet puts onto the unit as well as the Stegodon, we win, but the Demigryph stick around. Here, the Knights and Steam Tank just do a number on Teto Echo's unit, and they do stick. I think it's a draw still. I think we kill 1 Knight, but with the charge and everything else, it's quite tough. So anyway, I think I'm steadfast and I stick on a 6, which is fine for this turn. And yeah, this is bottom of 5. So top of 5, Scarvet and Stegodon do a number on the Demigryph. Scarvet has taken a wound. The Stegodon has 1 wound left. The Demigryph run away. The Scarvet runs them down. The Stegodon pursues as well, but only goes for a couple of inches. The Saurus warrior block failed to charge the Knights stand there, and yeah, sorry, the Steam Tank and the Knights overrun the the Tetorico unit, the skink cohort, and then they're quite there. So much so, in his turn, he moves, he pivots his steam tank and charges directly the butt of my Stegodon. And I've got, well, the Stegodon has only 1 wound left. He rolls for impact hit and gets a buttload, and I give up. I call it a day because I got nothing left. So yeah, cannons for you again. Sometimes you miss with them, but I believe that with 16% of chance of miss, it's a bit laughable. It would be nice as well as apparently they can fire through their own units. They don't need to have a clear line of sight on the ground to hit anything when they're not on the hills. So yeah, not very happy with that. I guess rumors say that maybe we will have combined profile with monsters and the riders. That would make the carnosaur a bit more viable or resilient if you give him a wall save from the rider's equipment or gear. It would be nice. It's a nice idea. It's a nice model. I mean, big dinos, can't get enough of them really. Yeah, my list is not ideal. His list is very good. I believe he's going to take it to a tournament. It's going to be hard hitting, but I'm sure he's going to fight stuff in front which will be even harder to hit and to kill. There you go. Bit of a rant for me on this one. Sorry about that. Hope you enjoyed the batrep anyway. See you next time. Bye.